Welcome back to our Badgers Bowl special as we now take a look at LSU. Luke, solid season for the Tigers. They finished off the regular season at 9-3.
Yeah, and ESPN had the Tigers preseason ranked 5th in the country. They were tested in their very first game of the season, taking on a Florida State team that finished the year undefeated in the regular season, just missing out on the college football playoffs. The Seminoles dominated the Tigers 45-24. The Tigers responded in a big way in their home opener, putting up 72 points over Grambling State. Jaden Daniels had a breakout game, 269 passing yards, 5 touchdowns. That was just the beginning for this team. The offense shining all year for the Tigers, leading college football in yards per game at 547 and in points, averaging 46.4 per contest. The Tigers' other 2 losses on the season came to Ole Miss and Alabama, games that proved the Tigers' defense was not quite at a championship level. LSU finished out the 2023 season with a home win over Texas A&M, 42-30. Daniels throwing for 4 touchdowns, and now LSU has the opportunity to tally 10 wins on the season if they come away with a win over Wisconsin.
It offers us an opportunity for a 10th win, which has been really kind of the thing that we have talked about for the last 6 weeks after the Alabama game as being an important piece for the development of our program is to get to back-to-back seasons with 10 wins. So, again, excited about the matchup, excited about going to Tampa and giving our players an opportunity to be part of a New Year's Day.
Well, Jaden Daniels played a massive part during their remarkable season. The Badgers breathing a sigh of relief, though, not having to see the Heisman Trophy winner tomorrow. The QB will enter the NFL draft and is a top 10 projection in many of those mocks. He finished with just under 5,000 yards of offense and 50 total touchdowns this year.
Dedicate this award to every boy and girl who has a dream. With faith and hard work, you never know what's possible. They said I was too skinny, so I added weight. They said I relied on my legs a little bit too much. So, I went to work, completed all those passes, had the season I had. So I thank everybody out there. And they said I was too quiet. So, I became more vocal. I stepped out of my comfort zone, and now I'm here today. So what did I learn from all this? I learned how to block out the noise, that you could overcome any obstacle, and just be humble, be legendary, and most importantly, be joyful about what you do.
Be humble and be legendary. Moving to the Badger secondary, they will have one of their leaders returning next season in Hunter Wohler, the Muskego native, confirming with the reporters ahead of the bowl game. So now the focus is watching the tape and prepping for LSU. Wohler led the Badgers in tackles during the regular season, averaging just over 9 per game. Tackling and then some will be a key factor in stopping an LSU team that led the nation in total offense. Even without Daniels, what does Wohler see in this Tiger offense?
Explosiveness. They can get down the field in a hurry and they can put up points in a hurry. Obviously, they're number 1 offense in the country. So, yeah, with or without Jaden Daniels, they're really good. They got a lot of really good players, a lot of really good athletes. So it's going to be a great challenge, great opportunity. So I can't wait.
Continuing our LSU analysis, I sat down with legendary lineman Mark Tauscher at the ESPN Madison downtown studio. Tauscher delivers key points in this Badger breakdown.
Well, Tausch, with or without the Heisman winner of Jaden Daniels, how do you think the Badgers match up against this LSU team?
We'll have our hands full. Anytime you're playing an SEC team that had the success that LSU did, obviously there's a lot of flux as far as who's all going to be playing. And the good thing is, I think the motivation level for this group, for Wisconsin, is going to be high. We've always put a ton of emphasis on winning bowl games. I can remember when I played, it wasn't just let's get to a bowl game. Let's not just get to a New Year's Eve bowl. We want to win it.
That offense, too, is dealing with a bunch of different things. They have a couple receivers going into the transfer portal, Shim DK, Sky Bell, and then you also have Braylon Allen, who's declaring for the league. How do you think this offense is going to have to respond with those deficits?
Well, it's a lot. Obviously, that's a ton of production that is not going to be there. So this is the fun part, is you start you really get a kickstart into the development of who's going to be your guys next year. You make big steps with these practices that are going on, and then obviously with your performance in a bowl game against a big-time program. That's when you can start showing these coaches what you're about and that you earn opportunities to continue to play.
You know, even with the amount of players that they might not have for this upcoming game, what is it about how this team hit their stride towards the end of the season? Because after that Indiana loss, things were teetering a little bit, but they got back into their rhythm and they made it into the bowl game. How do you think that kind of trickled and played?
I just think, man, winning is so important when you're talking about culture, and when you're in your first year, you're going to have ups and downs. It's about finding the character and building what the expectations are to win and win big. That was really important, especially that Axe game. We didn't have the Axe. I think it really set the tone for the belief and the trust that the coaches and players, which I think we always just assume it's naturally going to happen. You have to earn that on both sides. And when you have two finishing games like Wisconsin did, that goes a long way in developing that moving forward into the spring and then, moving on for next season.
And we got another live look out here coming up. It's Sports Director Carly Marotta joining us live again from Florida and goes one-on-one with Wisconsin Athletic Director Chris McIntosh. That's coming up next.